back to another episode of ApotheKerry. And just the theme of the spell of summer just rings so well, beautifully in my ears. So much has happened. I am excited to be here with you today. I missed you. It's been a minute. Been doing a lot of work on the farm. It was so overgrown, and just getting the weed whacking under control and getting the sport court power washed, and we were putting in new beds around the chicken coop. A lot of people don't know this, but our chicken coop about a year and a half ago had to literally be cut off from the bottom and moved. And it was really devastating for me. And I actually realized just this week, a year and a half later, because I would not bond with the new chicken coop, because the chicken coop was like, it was just like slammed and put together the best it could be. I was out of country. A 150-year-old oak tree was going to fall on this remodeled chicken coop that I had just bought in all new boxes. I had new feeders, new watering system where these cute little cups would come down and they would fill up. And it was amazing. And I just loved spending time in there. And so now I had to really embrace the chicken coop, because in order for me to build the chicken coop that I want, yeah, we're talking some big time money. And I know I'm gonna do it, and the design keeps on changing. And also, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. So when that happened, I had a 10 by 20, literally a 10 by 20 compost of incredible compost that lived underneath the chicken coop. So all their droppings went in underneath, and it had this concrete border foundation. So I was really able to get in there, and I'm talking truckloads of beautiful seasoned soils. And so I was able to spread that all over the land last spring and last summer. And that was really just a beautiful thing to repurpose all of that soil. And so, of course, you know me, I'm always going to turn something into a positive and find the better feeling thought. And so having that soil was a blessing, right? But I never really embraced the new door. I have a different door. It was like the little mama hotel. When they would start sitting on eggs and the chicks would hatch, they would go into this separate little chicken coop, and it wasn't little. Trust me, these chickens were spoiled. And so when I came back, that little chicken coop was put inside the big chicken coop, and that was the new door. So it was a tiny little door, and it just didn't look, aesthetically beautiful, and I didn't embrace it for a while. Well, this spring, I started planting around it. I built this beautiful wooden planter box, a big, beautiful wooden planter box with all recycled wood from the property, or from my girlfriend was selling her property, and she gave me some wood that was laying around. So I'm all about reusing. And so we planted vines in that. We planted vines on the side, because it's all, mesh and metal sides to it, like chicken wire and just fencing, and so you're able to grow vines on it. And I started growing some morning glory and some beautiful jasmine. My girlfriend gave me a couple jasmine plants, so I was able to plant that. And then we had a chaos jar of just a bunch of seeds. When we were going through all the seeds last year, we were organizing and labeling, and we had a bunch of seeds left over, and it just got put in a 32-ounce jar filled of just randoms, like pumpkins and squashes and tomatoes and some stuff that normally will not grow together. Well, it got put in this jar, and flower seeds. And so I planted the chaos jar on one side of this chicken coop, and it's actually transforming in front of my eyes. And I was sitting there this week and realizing, okay, what is it? What bothered me? Why couldn't I get over that so quickly when I'm able to just, flip the switch and find the better feeling thought? Because that's what I'm all about. That's what I preach. That's what I coach on, right? Why couldn't I do that for me with this chicken coop? One, you guys know I love my birds. I love my birds. They have names. But I think it had something to do with my childhood and growing up and my mom getting sick and, my father, moved out and was living in one of our apartment buildings growing up, and that energy around that, you really are a product of your own environment. And I think going through that, that just opened up a wound that I didn't even know that was there, didn't even know that really an emotion that I never dealt with, got exposed this week. Really realizing, why did that chicken coop bother me so much? It was the disruption. It was the chaos of it. I did lose some chickens. I lost my turkeys in that move, because when they chopped it, they couldn't put it back together just in one day. It took like 3 days, and so the chickens were living outside, the turkeys were living outside. So it was an unfortunate event for me that now I'm looking back saying, I'm so grateful for the soil that I got. In some places it was 4 feet deep, and like I said, 10 by 20 wide and long, of all that beautiful seasoned soil that I got to use. And now I'm just rejoicing in the new of the chicken coop, of what I have, and being grateful for what I have, and fancying it up. So why are we here? We're here for Mugwort, and I gotta say, not Mugwort. I sometimes will always say, oh, go pick me some motherwort, and it's really mugwort. So mugwort. We started growing mugwort 2 years ago onto the property. I was buying it in bulk. I was using it for nighttime blend with my valerian root and my passion flower and my lemon balm and some other ingredients that I would blend into my nighttime blend. And I am just so excited that the land just really just took a love, really just started loving on the mugwort, and how much the mugwort is just adapting and growing, and it's just so full. I just went out literally 20 minutes ago and picked this mugwort, and it's just absolutely beautiful. It has no scent. It smells like kind of like a little bit like celery, but not really. Its undercoat has got that silver, beautiful blue, gray, kind of the same feel as lavender and sage. And the lavender and sage is growing close to where this is. We have it growing in the herb garden. It's growing voluntarily in some places in the nursery, and it's just popping up. Right now it's starting to flower. And so this is fresh, what you see. And if you can't see, you can go over to YouTube or Spotify. I don't know where you're watching me or where you're tuning in from, but I just want to say that I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for following us. Thank you so much if you've left us comments. You know that does help us with our algorithm. The more engagement, it just pushes it out to more people that are attracting this information. And if you're here, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you. And if you are leaving comments and you're asking questions, I am answering them. And I just think that's important. It's important to thank the people that are engaging, because it does help us influencers out there trying to share this knowledge out. I am not a herbalist per se. I learn as I go. I grow over 100 medicinal herbs here on the farm, and I love it. And there are some things that I'm still learning, and I love to learn, and I love when people, come onto the property and they'll teach me something that I didn't know. And I love that. And so we're all learning together. We're all exfoliating our souls together. We're all healing ourselves through these beautiful medicinal herbs and living more of this conscious living lifestyle. And I am just so grateful that we get to do this together. And by now, you know that I am not a doctor, and I'm here for pure entertainment purposes. And I do that to protect myself and the company. And so in front of me, if you are seeing this, I have a big, huge bunch of mugwort that has been dried out. This was cut about a month ago. And so now this will be crushed down and put into glass jars for our tea. Now, why I love taking this at night, because this just gives you more of your vivid dreams. I feel that it really helps with moods. Now, again, it's going to be different for each person. I mean, this has been taken back, centuries for people going through their cycles. They will take this and it just helps them along with their cycles. And having this on hand makes it easier, and also cuts down the cost of me buying it in bulk. If you've never tried it and you want to try it before you plant it, because it will go a little nuts. It's not going to run everywhere like bamboo. I mean, I do have bamboo growing on the property, and I do have other things that just spread so quickly. You can contain this. It is a clumper. It's not a runner, but it does spread, because if you don't catch the flower, the seeds from the flowers, it's gonna start spreading. The birds are gonna grab it too. And you will have some volunteers, but for me, I love the volunteers. I just think they're beautiful, unless they're in a pathway. I'm trying to think what else. People do smoke it. I do not. Again, that's up to you. I've heard some incredible stories about smoking that. People have grown their own tobacco. Tobacco has a really bad name. I'm not here to talk about tobacco today, but we will talk about it because I am growing it. Now, yes, cigarettes are bad for you. And why are cigarettes bad for you? Because they're loaded with chemicals. They're loaded with chemicals and ingredients that make it addictive, because normal tobacco on its own is not addictive. In fact, it's used used as medicine, really. I was on the nicotine patch for 4 months, maybe 5 months straight. And I did that to take the spike proteins out of my system. And so I started feeling a lot better, and I know it worked for me. There's lots of protocols out there. You could do your own due diligence. But, a lot of people do smoke different herbs for different, reasons and for different benefits. But I do not smoke her. And I do enjoy her, and I do drink her. And when I do, I feel like I just have a more relaxed sleep. I've taken her on her own. I do that a lot. I will take single ingredients and steep it and drink it on its own, and I will change up my blends. So that's why I didn't tell you everything in every single ingredient in my nighttime blend, because sometimes I change it up to what my body needs. Sometimes you'll plateau. I don't know if you've ever noticed where you're drinking maybe a nootropic or adaptogen that maybe you feel like it stops working. It's not that it stops working, it's that you are plateauing, and sometimes you need to change things up. Give your body a break. Maybe your body doesn't need it, or your body does need it, but you're taking something else that can mask it. For instance, let me take a sip of my water. And not to get off subject, but are you drinking your water? Water is so important. I'm still working on my gratitude water. And if you don't know about the gratitude water, I will talk about it again, but if you hashtag claim your day or gratitude water, I'm sure one of my videos will pop up on social media, but gratitude water is key, and that's how I start my day and claiming my day. And I know by now, if you are a follower of ApotheKerry, you know that every day I always put my hands above my head and I say, today is going to be a great day, and I claim it. I never give my day away. So getting back to what we were talking about, when you are on a different medications, anything to do with the brain. So if you're taking a mood stabilizer, or if you're taking any medication for your moods, that can block any nutrients that you are putting into your body. You will not get the full effect. So there have been people that I have coached that have been on mood medications or brain medications, antidepressants, and they get on a nootropic and they say, I kind of feel it. I don't know if I feel it. And the first thing I ask them is, are you on any medication, right? Because some people will get a little defensive, especially if they're on an antidepressant. There's nothing wrong with any of it. I personally am against it, but some people, they have no choice, right? And then some people are ready to start weaning themselves off of medication. And it's a great time to, if you're open to, and you do have, a doctor that you can consult with, or a naturopath that can work with you with weaning yourself off of the medication. You never want to cold turkey off of a medication. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. When I first got diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease, which I never had Hashimoto's disease, but I did get diagnosed with it. I was at a low period in my life. It was 2020, pandemic. I started Corporate Hippie Connection, and I just felt depleted. I started a media company. Everything was going great. We were filming, and then it was like, stop filming. And then you could film again, stop filming. You had to get the shot in order for you to conduct interviews with people in the same room. It was stressful. And my nervous system was all out of whack. And so I got diagnosed with that and perimenopause. And then there was a death in my family. And I gotta tell you, it just disconnected. I was completely disconnected. Talk about walking into rooms. I was just walking outside, just like lost. And it's a horrible feeling. And being in the positive empowerment space, talking and coaching on self-care and self-development, here, Kerry was just completely, the only word I could say is disconnected. I got subscribed a medication called Paxil. Maybe I'm not saying it correctly. Paxil, maybe that's it. And I was so desperate. I was so desperate. And they put me on thyroid medication, and I felt worse. I felt even more disconnected. I was numb. And so I called up a naturopath doctor, and we started talking, and she said, yeah, you really need to start weaning yourself off. And I wanted it out of my body so fast and so quick that I literally cold turkeyed. Well, you really shouldn't do that. You shouldn't. It didn't affect me as much as it would affect somebody that had been on it a lot longer. I was on it only for 2 weeks. And so, yes, I did go through some craziness. And you know, you just can't blame people that are trying to find things to feel better. And nowadays, people just want that quick fix. And back then, I wanted the quick fix. Now, 6 years later, I don't want the quick fix. I want to go through it. I want to feel all the emotions. And I want to make sure that I'm healing myself along the way. And as I'm going through things, even, day to day, different things will present themselves. I always talk about it because I think it's important to share out your knowledge, to share out what you've gone through, what you learned from it. I'm all about giving you guys a shortcut because I don't want you to take the long journey that I did. And if I'm able to give you the shortcut, I'm going to do it. And if you're not following me on social media, on Instagram, I will go there almost daily and I'll give a daily message. If I don't go on there, it's because I'm not getting the download or I'm not getting the message that's coming through me. When it comes through me, I come out here immediately. I start filming what the message is. And I think that's important because I feel like God, the universe, gives you these thoughts. And we're here, all of us are here with each of us have our own gift sets. You have a gift set. And if you're not doing something with it already, I highly encourage you to do it because that's why you're here. You're here to share that wealth. Wealth is not in money. Wealth is in knowledge. Wealth is in emotional intelligence. Wealth is in the herbs. Wealth is in love. Wealth is in Mother Gaia. I can go on and on of what wealth is. And when you get all that stuff dialed in, the wealth, finance wealth, it all just flows, right? You don't even have to think about it. Which leads me into Mugwort is a great herb for manifestation. I really feel that when that is in my body, that herb is in my body, I'm able to really go into imagination. And I do that a lot at night. So I'll let this steep, I'll drink it, and I'll give my gratitude. I'll start going through my evening mantra, and I start doing my imagination. Now, imagination and imagining is one of my favorite things to do. I've been doing it as far back as I can remember. In fact, I remember one of my sisters telling my mom that I wasn't able to hold up a conversation with one of her friends, that she was, just listening and watching me. And that was right around when I got diagnosed with dyslexia, a name that should never have been put on me because it really held me back for so many years. And I just don't like titles or names. I don't like to put names on things like dyslexic, ADHD, ADD, autism, whatever it is, because I feel like we're all individually the way we're supposed to be. And so anyway, that's a whole nother podcast. I could totally get into, labels and what it does to a human being. But I remember her saying this to my mom and my mom talking about it with my dad. And my dad just said, she's just a little girl. She's just, in her own little world. And my dad stuck up for me, where my mom really pushed, getting, special ed and pushing. She was trying her best to find the best solutions to help her daughter. But maybe, there's no would have, could have, should have. It's already done. But it really did scar me. And the truth is, I remember that day sitting on my sister's couch. I remember where she lived in Redwood City at the time. And I remember I was just in imagination world and just being in that. And people overcomplicate manifesting. And the truth is, You can manifest through imagination. You can imagine whatever life you want. You just need to stay there long enough. And that is where I say to you, stay there long enough and start decorating the walls. Start placing your furniture. What does the aroma smell like in that imagination? And start really feeling into it. Well, I have been manifesting my whole life. I am a manifesting generator in my human design. And I really am proud of that because I got that gift at such a very young age to learn how to do it. And school was really not for me. Did I go to school? Yes, but I was just in a whole nother world because I was in an imagination world. So if you like to imagine or you're in imagination and you do it a lot, you're probably a great manifester. And so at night, taking this herb in, you can really just go deep into imagination. And what is it? Is it seeing that contract being signed? Well, if that's the case, what does the paper smell like? What is the paper? Can you smell the ink on the paper? What pen are you holding? What does it look like? What color is it? Who's sitting across from you? Are you in a boardroom? Are you in somebody's office? That is what I'm talking about. And for me, everything that has taken place up until today has all been through imagination. And I'm living in my manifestation. And that is what I want for all of you. I want you to be able to manifest faster. There's a lot of people out there that sell courses on manifestation, and everybody, teaches it a little bit different. But the truth is, you really don't have to pay for it. You can just start imagining. And so I feel like this is really complete today, and so it is. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. I hope that you guys embrace mugwort, because this is not just a plant, it is a teacher of remembrance. And it really gives you some beautiful insights. And so there you go. I'll see you guys next week. I love you guys so much and thank you so much. See you.